Stephanie's going to come knocking
And always,
every week or so.
Where's my check?
Exactly.
Right.
Where's my check?
Asking for money. So that's what buy-sell agreements are there for. Lots of people have the agreement. So the next question always is the agreement funded?
Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us today at Let's Keep It Real today. I'm here with my friend Abu. Hey Abu.
Hey, how we doing?
Great. And then also we have special guests. We have here the Medeiros group with Lynn and Stephanie Medeiros. And they are here because they are expert in their field. And we're going to be talking about insurance, life insurance. Some of us don't always like to talk about it, but it's great. We have a day that we are born, but we're not always sure about when we're going to be gone. So Lynn, tell me what's important about insurance. What people you think should be insured?
Well, the biggest part about life insurance that we help our clients with is the need. And people always wonder, how much life insurance do I need? So one of the questions that I love to hit people with is, do you have too much life insurance, just enough life insurance, or not enough life insurance? Mm-hmm. Because no matter what answer you give us, we still need to have a deeper conversation. Mm-hmm. So if you have too much life insurance, then we need to talk about how we can get the need right and put money back in your pocket. Mm-hmm. If you have just enough life insurance, you probably don't, because you're not an expert like us, but it's still an opportunity to have a conversation where either you're going to find out you do have just enough or you need a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have enough life insurance, and that's an easy conversation to have. Yeah. And basically the way we attack that need is three simple things, which my wife Stephanie specializes in: final expense, debt elimination, and income replacement. Those are the three things you want to address with your life insurance plan. If you address those three things, if you die young, your salary gets replaced, your debt gets eliminated, and your funeral gets taken care of. Sometimes when you're up in age, you're retired, and now you don't need to replace your salary. Mm-hmm. You're debt free. You're still going to have a what? A funeral. Exactly. So that's where the final expense comes in.
So tell me, let's say I am 25 years old or 20 years old. Do I really need a life insurance? And how would I will know which type and how much do I need? How would I work for? Let's look at the two sides of the spectrum.
Okay.
The very, very young people out there, just coming out of college, and also let's look at people that are a little bit older or also middle. Sure. The one there start having kids in the middle of it, and let's look at the older one.
Absolutely. So when you're very young, and I got my first life insurance policy when I was 19, and my younger sister, she's 13 years older, she was my beneficiary. But even when you're young, there is a cost to your early premature demise. And do you want that cost passed on to your parents or other relatives or what have you? So your need is not great when you're young, but there is a need there. You might have student loans, because certain types of student loans don't go away when you die. So do you want to pass that on to your parents?
How come? No, you scare me.
No. But I did want to make this point. Another thing that's overlooked about getting life insurance when you're young is you lock in your insurability.
For sure.
So when you get life insurance when you're young and healthy, no matter what happens to your health down the road, you're still good with that company. But let's say you, because you're young and healthy and indestructible, but in your 30s you come down with cancer, or you have a stroke, and now all of a sudden your life insurance opportunities become compromised, and you go from a preferred risk to a standard or even a substandard risk.
Yeah, I know that because I got my first life insurance when I was like 26.
That was only a few years ago, but yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. I love you. But and then it's so cheap. Still today. Well, I know it's not the word to say cheap, but it's very
affordable,
inexpensive, and added something we call a rider on it, so it increased every year until it doubles. Because I knew eventually one day I would have children and maybe married and all that. So, but yeah, it's very very inexpensive when you're young.
Yep.
Best time to get it.
Absolutely.
But any time is a good time.
It's true. Anytime is a good time because
all of us have to
we
go.
help a lot of people get into a house, right? And that's one of their biggest investments. So it's cute. It's cool. You have a home, you moved in, you have all these expense that come with it.
You have a mortgage.
You have a mortgage, and unfortunately, some happen, and that happened to a client of mine that I know. The husband passed away, so now if you're not insured, what's gonna happen to the kid? You know,
In the house.
in the house,
Yeah.
and a lot of people they're just scared. They're scared about. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to do it. But you have a car insurance. You know, you have insurance for everything else except your life, which is kind of weird when you think about it.
And
Because you can
listen,
replace
God-
a car.
Yeah, God will take care of you. A lot of people, oh, God's got me. He will, and He does. And at the same time, He's telling you beforehand, hey, here's some provisions too. So you won't have to have extra strain on yourself when I decide to take someone home. You know, so there's a provision that can help you. Yes, I'll help, and other people will help, but there's an added stress when we pass and don't have any money because
Exactly.
you need to bury people. You need to take care of the current bills. You have to sustain where you are right now because the life insurance is for the living.
Exactly. And also when you have a life insurance like that, it's different because, you know, when you own a house, property, investment, and all that, you have to go through probate approval and all that. But when you have a life insurance, you can get that money right away, right?
Yes, life insurance policy is basically a contract. The life insurance company will only pay the named beneficiary. So if in a situation where the husband passed away, the money goes to the wife, she can pay off the mortgage and not have to worry about anything versus having to decide where we're going to live next and the upheaval in all the household. Also, this is where income replacement comes in. Let's say the husband was making $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. Now that money is no longer coming into the household. What are you going to replace that number with? So that's the biggest part when you're building a life insurance plan. The income replacement is huge. For instance, someone's 30 years old making $100,000 with no raises or anything over the course of their life, they're going to make another $3.5 million. If they die a couple of years after that, what's going to replace that $3.5 million? And that's where we come in.
But some people are a little bit, I would call that bougie. So how much life insurance is too much life insurance? Is there any limit about that?
Well, what the study came back from 9/11, they valued 20 times your income. 20 times is a good place to start. Now, can you have more than 20 times? Absolutely, but sometimes life insurance companies will look at you a little bit different if you have 40 or 50 times too much life insurance. If you can afford it, it's not too much. Right. But sometimes companies will look at you in a different way. But I can name, I won't. But there are lots of celebrities that have more than $100 million in life insurance.
Can you explain that? Give an example, maybe. Well, you already said $80,000, $90,000 because an example of what that much life insurance means and what it will cover and how much it is. Because if you say you need so many times much life insurance as your income, that sounds like, well, man, that's like $300, $400. How could I afford that?
Well, it's affordable. That's why when you're putting together a plan, you want to do the need first, and then we figure out how to pay for it. And it's a lot like what you do. Let's get the house first, and then we figure out how we're going to structure this deal and get it paid for. Same thing with life insurance. There are different types of plans. There are inexpensive plans called term insurance, and term insurance is less expensive because it's for a period of time. So when someone buys a house and gets a 30-year mortgage, a 30-year term policy is a perfect fit to that plan because should they live, which they probably will, they will pay off their mortgage in 30 years. But if they pass away prematurely, that 30-year term policy will come in and pay off the house which everybody wishes if they lose their income source, that at least they won't have to worry about having a roof over their head. And that's easily taken care of with a life insurance policy.
And the best time to buy life insurance is now.
And then so how you just talk about the term, but which other policy are out there? And which one are the best for?
Right, and people always wondering what's better for me, term insurance or whole life insurance? Well, term insurance is for temporary needs. Whole life insurance is for permanent needs. So when I ask someone, how long do you want your life insurance to last? The answer is typically my entire life. But really, the coverage that you need to last your entire life is the funeral and final expenses stuff.
Gotcha.
You don't need to cover your mortgage for your entire life. You don't need to cover your children's college education for your entire life. So sometimes,
for right now.
right. So sometimes when parents haven't saved for college, but they're going to pay their children's tuition out of pocket, the only thing that will stop that is a premature death. So you get a 10-year term policy. Just in case your child wants to go to grad school or medical school, the only thing that's going to make that child come home is your premature death. Then that's why you get the term policy. After they're out of school, you can get rid of the coverage. Term policies also work great with business loans. Sometimes a bank, and I've done several of these this month, the bank wants a 10-year term. You got a 10-year bank note, they want a 10-year term policy because if you pass away while you're repaying the note, they want to be able to recoup the money that they lent you.
So pretty much if you own a business and you have a partner and both of you are exchanging and you're not sure about what could happen, at least you can keep the business running, hire who you need to hire to replace that brain that was there. And unfortunately, he's gone too soon. That's good, right? You can keep going with marketing
that concept is called a buy-sell agreement.
Yep.
A lot of partners have the agreement, but they don't have it funded. And what I make them aware of is, if you're my partner, and you like my wife Stephanie, but you don't want to be in business with Stephanie,
you want to buy her
when
out.
I die, you got to buy Stephanie out.
Yep.
If not, Stephanie's going to come knocking.
And
every week or so.
Where's my check?
Exactly.
Right.
Where's my check?
Asking for money. So that's what buy-sell agreements are there for. Lots of people have the agreement. So the next question always is the agreement funded?
Gotcha.
Cover yourself and your business and your family.
Yeah.
And then I also want to talk about something that we talk about insurance for all the young folks out there, but cancer and stroke and diabetes, they're very big right now. And then sometimes people want to be insured, but they can't because of health condition. So I guess this is where you come and help, right? You come and save the day. How does that work with you?
That helps because we can cover, anyone that is sick. It includes HIV and AIDS. It includes people that are imprisoned.
People in prison can now get a life insurance?
Yes, most companies won't insure prisoners because if you're in prison, the chances are you probably won't live to your natural life expectancy. But there are companies that we work with where that's where we differentiate ourselves. So one of the things I've done in my last year or so, because I'm coming up on 29 years as a life insurance agent, November 1st, is...
You that old?
I am. I started when I was 30.
You look good.
But you have a situation where people at larger companies are uninsurable. Heart attack, uninsurable. High A1C, uninsurable. MS, uninsurable. Now we work with companies where uninsurables are the ones that we can get the coverage for.
Those are the ones we want.
So now I'm getting people with Parkinson's covered, stage 4 cancer covered.
So you could have cancer today and with your company still be able to be insured and have your funeral expense covered.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it a higher amount that you have to invest into the policy?
It is a higher cost because life insurance is all about risk and calculating how long you'll be able to get close to your life expectancy. And with these last couple of years, one of the things that has thrown us for a loop was being hospitalized for COVID. There were a couple companies that we were working with that were declining people because they couldn't calculate the effects of being hospitalized for COVID. But now we're able to get people covered that were on a ventilator in the hospital, in ICU with COVID. Wow. So you just have to shop around, get in touch with experts like us because this is our passion. I am a risk management and insurance graduate of Temple University. Okay. Go Owls. And so I'm very fortunate that I got to do exactly what I went to school for. Yeah. Most college graduates don't get that opportunity right out of the gate.
I have a master in finance.
Right.
I'm doing real estate.
It's okay. No, but we love to help people. And sometimes I feel like, we can help anybody, but the insurance for the underdog is what just makes me feel so good. And again, being able to help someone to to be able to give them a check at the time of probably, the most saddest time in their life. You have a need. Your person or whoever is not here anymore. That has to happen to us all. That's going to happen. An accidental death, that's like probably the saddest. Mm-hmm. And it's nice if you're covered, because if you're not, again, you have to deal with the loss. And then the finances, that's a whole nother world.
I think that's kind of what messed people up the most,
Yes.
And I see too many times people asking, and it's part of our culture being African, where it's normal for us to just give money and to just help. But we here in America, we have that insurance in place. We have that system in place. We should really think about really using it to take care of our family, because it's very stressor. And sometimes people don't have even $1 to just buy bread that day when they find out the spouse, something happened to their spouse, Yeah. And then they have to call somebody, hey, is that any way to help me? Because,
Right.
It's a lot.
Right, so now they need help with the cost of taking care of their loved ones, and now they need help with the cost of life moving forward.
Yes.
And all that. And then, trust me, a few people are going to ask, well, did he have life insurance? And, that's not a question that you really, especially when the answer is no, or didn't have enough.
And another good thing about getting life insurance is that since it's already covered, you won't get robbed if you don't. Because just say, for instance, with the funeral, you don't have life insurance. You don't have anything. You go to the funeral home, and it's with all due respect, but they'll get you. What kind of coffin would you like? Oh, yeah, that was your husband. Oh, that was your mother. We have this beautiful rose gold coffin here, Or would you just like to put her in a pine box? Maybe she didn't mean that much to you, Everything is just so more expensive.
That's a full business. The death industry, huh?
Yeah. It is. Mm-hmm. It is. And then you can be overpriced on the flowers, just any and everything, because you have that sense of guilt from your trauma of them being gone, and I want the best for them, and it's like
they'll be buried. They don't care about the coffin.
They don't. But you and your sister will fight over whether the handle should be pearl or not, and they're like, "Oh, it's not that much more. It's just another $600," and you're like, "Oh my God!" But then if you already have that in place, then an example for me, when my mom went to heaven, I was so surprised because my mom and my grandmother had everything covered. So, not to belittle it, just to give it a tad bit of humor, I felt like I was at a nail shop or at a restaurant. Pick a color. I'm like, what? It's here. Pick what you want. This is what is covered.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, well, I would like the pink coffin with the gold handles. So I didn't have to be guilted into it. And it was all covered.
You didn't have to worry about it.
I didn't have to worry about
your grief and
I was able to pick it, and then I didn't have to say, hey, can you guys, people are going to give you anyway, but I didn't have to go and ask other people and ask them several times and then get mad because, man, okay, I'm glad they gave me something, but why did she give me $10? She really could have kept that. Or else people are saying I gave more than they did. Over flowers, all of that, all those things were covered. And that took so much off of me to know that I literally did not have to deal with that. I told my husband, I said, Lynn, I want to do this for somebody else. I was able to just nurse my grief.
This is beautiful.
And that's what I wanted to. I said, I want to help somebody else do that, because you don't even know how stressed you are. You're stressed just every day. But if someone you love has passed away and you have to provide something for them, and even for yourself, the limos, look, the programs, the plants, all of that is included and covered, or can be, depending on the policy that you get. And then you don't have to fight about it. And then it's your decision. And the other thing is, make sure that you pick the right beneficiary. Do not pick a 2-month-old. Do not pick a 5-year-old. Pick somebody you can trust that will make the right decisions, that will send you out, because you're not going to be here. You will not be here to worry about it. But maybe, you just want to have someone in place that will respect your wishes.
So what you mean by don't pick up a 2-month-old, pretty much, of course, you have to leave money to your child, but also pick an adult in there. They will be able to make the right decision.
Yes.
The guardian.
Just a little bit, just a little bit for them so they can handle everything else. That's what you mean?
Yes. And it will be needed. I mean, some person, I just know someone one time that texted me because they needed a haircut, for a funeral, or they needed something to wear, or they needed to buy their loved one something to be buried in. All that money, you can use it for what you need it for. Yeah. The repast, anything. And what I mean by repast is a ceremony, after the funeral, where people congregate and have a meal together. The food can be covered. The hall that you want to rent, or the church, or whatever, those things can be covered. It is expensive to cover someone that dies. Just like when someone is born, you go out of you got to get the car seat, everything, right? Same thing with in the baby room ready. Same thing with when we depart. You just want to make sure that everything is taken care of, and send them out in a respectful way. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just a respectful way.
Wow, Stephanie, this is very beautiful, and hopefully everybody learned a little bit more today. I'm a little bit smarter than yesterday, huh?
Most definitely.
All right, guys, that's it. That's all we have today. So let me make sure I can reintroduce you guys again to Lynn and Stephanie. Lynn, how can people, and Stephanie, how can people reach out to you guys?
Easiest way is our phone number, 832-655-5635. We also have a page on Facebook, the Medeiros Group,
The Medeiros
LLC.
Group.
That's a great way to get in contact with us. And we get a lot of business by way of referral and word of mouth. But we're here to help. There's no situation that we can't assist with in the area of life insurance. And we formed, I started the business group years ago before we were married. And it was just something that I kind of toyed with. And then when she got inspired to become a life insurance agent and join me in my passion, now it's our passion. Yeah. Now she's really taking the social media part of it to another level, and the group is benefiting. Right now, we're a group of 2. Yeah. But I like it that way.
Always start like that.
Yeah, I like it that way. But if someone else shares our passion, we certainly have no problem working with other agents. I coach a lot of agents. I've hired countless agents across the country, Philadelphia, DC, and Houston, just to name a few. And it's a wonderful business. And like Stephanie was saying, we show up with money when everybody else shows up with bills, and that's basically what we do in that world. And it's a wonderful feeling to be in position to help people on their worst day, because that's someone's death of a loved one, that's their worst day,
and it's going to happen.
And
for all of us. And
we come in and we're able to assist.
And Medeiros is spelled. It's 3 short words. Me, dear, is, and the dear is DEAR, so it's MEDEAR. DEARIS, Medeiros. So that's the Medeiros group, and we're here to help.
That's awesome. So make sure to follow us on all our social media. Comment, subscribe below, and let us know what you think. But also send us your question, and we'll make sure to send it to them, and they can reply back to you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.